Well, hello there, my legion of worldwide fans. I've been inundated with questions on my blog, so I thought I'd take a few minutes out of my very busy schedule to enlighten a few souls. Up first, from the US of A, SHAWN writes, "Dear Sue, what is the best way to take down your enemies and make sure they don't know it was you who did it?" Well, SHAWN, it's all about making frenemies. Once the sucker thinks you're on the same side of the 17th parallel, even if you're the one to pull the trigger, he won't suspect a thing. Next up, BRYNN writes, "Dear Sue, people like to pick on me and say mean things behind my back. What do I do about it? If I hear one more whiny baby complaint that their mother didn't breastfeed them long enough, sack up, BRYNN. Give them a little dose of the good stuff. And by the good stuff, I mean ipecac syrup." This is from Lewis. "Dear Sue, I was wondering how you can keep a sane mind with all the ignorance and hate in the world. It's everywhere I go, and I see it most in my school." Well, Lewis, that's a good question. Haters are gonna hate, and being a champion has made me feel superior to most people, but I'm also not afraid to call someone out. So if you don't like the game someone's spitting, tell them. Bethany writes, "Dear Sue, how do you handle trash talk? Have you ever seen me speak to that sweater vest hijacking Will? Find their weakest attribute and go for the jugular." And now from the land down under, Australia, world of ridiculous accents, comes Catherine, who writes, "Dear Sue, would you ever let Finn on the Cheerios? Would you deny the presence of a second gunman on the grassy knoll? I've seen cats on the internet who have more rhythm than that pear-shaped man-child. My outfit of cheerleading soldiers would eat their own cutlets before letting him ruin their competition chances." Kangaroo Jack writes, "Dear Sue, does your tracksuit change color depending on your mood?" Oh, good question. And like J. Edgar Hoover before me, my tracksuit is just a costume for the wild child that lurks inside my dominant, masculine frame. Color may change, but the real Sue remains the same. Into the hinterland of Germany, an anonymous writer types, "Dear Sue, Sue always remains true to herself. Do you have tips for German teens?" Well, not even brave enough to say your name. Well, Mr. Anonymous, Sue Sylvester has remained the steadfast beacon of purity she was born to be by never, ever listening to anyone else's opinion. Now, as a German, there will be people telling you, wear lederhosen, whips and leather are normal, and say no to the EU Greek bailout. If you can drown them out and follow your own heart, you will remain true to yourself. Congratulations, Netherlands, on this investigative query. From Maria. "Dear Sue, what do you think of squirrels?" Well, I think squirrels are fat-faced little thieves who continue to pluck acorns off my divinely manicured oak tree. And I can't help but think of Esther, the red-headed guidance counselor. The way she eats her lunch is exactly the way I imagine squirrels eat their obsessive-compulsive lunches in their obsessive-compulsively decorated little squirrel hovels. Another anonymous coward. This comes from the UK. "Sue, what is your secret for being so confident and so successful?" Well, my secret is simple. Violent emotional outbursts and a well-fitted tracksuit. If you look good, you feel good. And when you feel good, you take on challenges without fear of reproach. And as my mentor, General George S. Patton would say, carry a pistol in your pants and the fear of commies in your heart, and you will always march forward with honor. From Belgium, whose greatest invention, I believe, is the waffle, we have Joel, who asks, "Dear Sue, contrary to most states in the U.S., same-sex marriage is legal in Belgium. If you were a wedding planner, how would you advise gay and lesbian couples on wedding plans?" Well, I would advise them to do whatever they wanted, gay, straight, whatever. Just be sure that there's music that gets people dancing, and a cousin to cart Uncle Bjorn away when he's imbibed too many Flemish Reds and starts feeling up the caterers. And now from South America, birthplace of guerrilla warfare. THIAGO writes, "Dear Sue, when will you be coming to Brazil to shout at some fat guys?" Well, I love yelling at fatties as much as the next athletic virtuoso, But your Rio de Despeiro lifestyle is frankly horrifying. I could only watch City of God for 5 minutes before switching to the Disney Channel to avoid narrowly becoming catatonically depressed. Viva la Mexico! Raul writes, Dear Sue, could you tell us what motivates you to be who you are? Well, Raul, I am motivated to be who I am every time I look around the halls of McKinley High School and think, I am the only hope these children have of becoming responsible and right-leaning members of society. I'm also motivated by my beloved sister, Aunt Becky, who shows me every day that we all just want to be treated like human beings. Last, and most certainly least, there's Canada. Northern neighbors, when you get police who use cars instead of horses, I might consider responding to you. Until then, keep your arrogantly functional healthcare system and deeply even-headed political culture to yourselves. Eh? Well, that's all, folks. Keep treading water in your bourgeois lives, and maybe one day you, too, can be successful like Sue Sylvester. Later.